Marcus leaned against the railing of the starport's auction hall, watching the crowd swarm around the small stage. Ships of every size and shape were lined up, shining under the artificial lights. Some were sleek and modern, built for speed. Others were old and battered, patched with mismatched metal. Marcus had no money for a new ship, so his hopes rested on something old, but sturdy. He was a young pilot with big dreams. He wanted to explore the stars, trade goods across galaxies, and maybe, just maybe, make a name for himself. But so far, all he had was his determination and a small pile of savings. That was why he was here, at an auction that promised opportunity, but demanded risk. A loud voice echoed through the hall. Next up, cargo freighter Aurora's Light. Starting bid, 10,000 credits. Marcus squinted at the ship. It looked old, its metal was scratched, and some panels were dented, but the engines gleamed as if someone had polished them recently. It was bigger than the other ships he could afford, and it had space for cargo. Most importantly, the price was low. I can do 10,000, Marcus whispered to himself. He checked his credits again. Enough. Barely. But this ship could be his chance. The auctioneer waved, and bids started climbing. Marcus watched as others raised their paddles. Some of them were seasoned traders with thick fingers and confident smiles. Marcus's heart pounded. He didn't want to get caught up in a bidding war he couldn't win. Finally, he raised his own paddle. 11,000, he said, his voice steadier than he felt. The auctioneer nodded. 11,000, do I hear 12? Nobody raised their paddles. Marcus's heart skipped a beat. Could it really be this easy? Sold, the auctioneer shouted. 11,000 credits to this young man. Congratulations! Marcus blinked in disbelief. He had a ship. His own ship. It wasn't perfect, but it was his. He walked toward the ship, feeling the adrenaline rush in his veins. As he reached the airlock, he paused. Something felt strange. The door wasn't empty. A soft glow came from inside, faint but noticeable. Curious, he stepped closer. Inside the cargo hold, he found something he did not expect. A figure lay on a platform in the center of the room. It looked like a person, but not quite. The skin shimmered with soft colors like a pearl in sunlight. The figure's hair floated slightly as if underwater. Marcus froze. Hello? He said cautiously. The figure stirred and slowly opened her eyes. They were bright and unusual, like liquid gold with flecks of green. Marcus's mouth went dry. He had not expected anyone to be aboard the ship. Who are you? Marcus asked. The figure looked at him for a moment and then spoke in a soft, melodic voice. It was not a language Marcus knew. He frowned. I don't understand, he said. She tilted her head slightly and repeated the words, slower this time. Still, he could not understand. Marcus ran a hand through his hair. I guess you came with the ship? He tried to joke, but it sounded weak. The alien woman didn't reply. Instead, she looked around, studying the interior of the ship. Marcus noticed that she moved with grace, even while still weak from sleep. There was something intelligent about her. She wasn't just lost, she was aware. He stepped back and rubbed his chin. This was unexpected. He had bought a ship, not a companion. But there was no immediate danger. She didn't attack him or speak threatening words. In fact, she seemed confused, not aggressive. Marcus took a deep breath. Okay, let's figure this out. He pulled out a small data pad from his jacket and tried to scan her. Nothing appeared. No identity, no origin, no records. The ship's system had no information either, except that the platform she rested on had been in hibernation mode. Hibernation? Marcus whispered. He looked at the glowing figure. So, you were sleeping for a long time? The alien woman blinked slowly as if understanding the tone of his voice. Then she moved her hand gently over the platform, feeling the controls. Her eyes widened in recognition. Marcus stepped closer. You know how to operate this ship? She nodded once. Then, surprisingly, she pressed a button on the platform. The ship's engines hummed softly. Lights came on and panels shifted. Marcus stepped back, amazed. "Whoa! You can fly this thing?" he asked, eyes wide. She nodded again, then gestured toward him, pointing at the main console. Marcus hesitated. Could he really trust her? She was an unknown alien, and he had no idea what her intentions were. But there was something in her eyes. Curiosity, intelligence, maybe even trust. And Marcus had learned something about people or aliens who were stranded or confused. They usually responded to kindness. "All right," he said slowly. "If we're going to, share this ship, we need rules. I don't want to crash it, I don't want to get arrested, and I don't even know your name." The alien woman tilted her head again and spoke. Her voice was soft, melodic, but the words made no sense. Marcus frowned, then smiled weakly. "Okay, names can wait, rules first." He led her to a small corner of the ship where supplies were stored. He offered her some food and water. She hesitated at first, then touched the food with delicate fingers. After a moment, she ate. Marcus watched, fascinated. Her movements were elegant, careful, almost as if she were learning about the world for the first time. "You must have traveled far," Marcus said quietly. He didn't know if she understood, but he felt like talking was better than silence. The alien woman's eyes flicked to him. For the first time, she made a sound he recognized as laughter, soft, musical, and warm. Marcus couldn't help but grin. They spent the next few hours exploring the ship together. Marcus showed her the basic controls, the sleeping quarters, and the storage areas. She touched everything, her hands gliding over surfaces, studying buttons and panels. Occasionally, she pressed something that startled Marcus, like activating the lighting or opening a small hatch. He quickly learned that she was not just intelligent, she was skilled. "I guess I didn't just buy a ship," Marcus said aloud, half to himself. "I bought a crew member?" He chuckled nervously. "An unexpected crew member." The alien woman looked at him and made a soft sound. Marcus tilted his head. He had no idea what it meant, but it felt friendly. As night fell outside the starport, Marcus set the ship's systems to idle. The auction hall emptied, leaving him and the alien woman alone. He leaned against the wall and looked at her. "I'm Marcus," he said simply. "I don't know your name yet, but we're stuck together for now. Guess we'll figure this out." She blinked slowly, then reached out her hand. Marcus hesitated, then shook it gently. Her skin was smooth and slightly warm, and her grip was firm but delicate. At that moment, Marcus realized something important. He had bought more than a ship. He had bought a chance at adventure. And maybe, just maybe, he had found a friend, or more. The stars outside sparkled, distant and mysterious. Marcus looked at them and smiled. He had no idea what awaited him or the alien woman aboard his new ship. But for the first time in his life, he felt like he was exactly where he was supposed to be. And somewhere deep in the ship, the alien woman looked back at him, her golden eyes reflecting the lights, a faint curiosity shining in them. She did not understand everything yet, but she understood this. Their journey had just begun. The next morning, Marcus woke to the gentle hum of the ship's engines. Sunlight streamed through the small windows of the cockpit, casting long beams across the control panels. He rubbed his eyes and turned to see the alien woman sitting quietly. On the floor of the ship, her legs crossed, gazing out at the stars. Her golden eyes reflected the sunlight, and her hair floated slightly as if it had its own life. Marcus had spent the night thinking about her. He still didn't know her name, where she came from, or why she was in hibernation aboard the ship. Yet, despite all the mysteries, she had an aura of calm intelligence that fascinated him. "Good morning," Marcus said cautiously, unsure if she even understood his words. The alien woman tilted her head and made a soft sound. It was musical, almost like a song. Marcus frowned. "Right. I'll assume that means good morning too," he said with a small smile. He decided that the first step was to communicate. He grabbed a small tablet from the control panel and tapped on a translation program. "Let's try this," he murmured, showing the screen to her. The tablet displayed simple words. "Hello, who are you? Where are you from?" The alien woman leaned forward and touched the screen delicately. Her fingers moved with precision as if she was familiar with technology far more advanced than what Marcus had ever seen. She touched a few symbols that the tablet couldn't recognize. The screen flickered. Marcus's eyes widened. "Wow. You know more than I thought," he said, impressed. He realized that she might be able to teach him things about the stars he had never imagined. For the next hour, Marcus tried to teach her basic words. He drew symbols on paper, pointed to objects, and said the words slowly. She repeated the sounds carefully, tilting her head and studying his lips. Occasionally, she made a sound that wasn't quite human, but somehow conveyed meaning. "Okay," Marcus said after a while, leaning back. "I think we're making progress. Slowly, but it's progress." She tilted her head, then nodded slightly. Marcus smiled. It was small, but it was communication. And that was enough for now. After breakfast, a simple meal of rehydrated protein cubes, Marcus decided it was time to explore the ship more fully. "Let's see what this ship can do," he said. He led her to the control console. She immediately touched the panels, her fingers moving with grace and confidence. Marcus noticed that she seemed to understand the ship better than he did. "You've piloted ships before, haven't you?" he asked. She nodded, then pressed a sequence of buttons that activated the navigation system. The holographic display lit up, showing star systems, planets, and trade routes. Marcus's jaw dropped. "This ship? It's more advanced than I thought." The alien woman looked at him and then at the display as if asking him a question. Marcus shrugged. "I don't know. I just bought it at an auction." He laughed nervously. "I didn't expect to get a co-pilot, let alone an expert alien co-pilot." She tilted her head and made another musical sound. Marcus guessed it was a laugh. Somehow that made him feel more comfortable. He was starting to understand that despite their differences, they could work together. Their first real test came sooner than Marcus expected. As he adjusted the ship's settings, an alert beeped. A small radar screen lit up with multiple blips approaching fast. Marcus frowned. What are those?" The alien woman's eyes narrowed. She touched the controls, and a map of the approaching objects appeared. Marcus could see they were small, fast-moving ships. Pirates. His heart raced. "Space pirates?" he asked, incredulous. "Why me?" She didn't answer in words. Instead, she pressed several buttons and the ship's engines roared to life. Lights flashed across the cockpit as the ship lifted off the auction platform. Marcus gripped the controls tightly, his mind racing. "Okay." Deep breaths, Marcus. "You can do this," he muttered. The alien woman pointed at the display, and then at him. Marcus realized she was giving instructions. He followed her gestures, turning the ship sharply to avoid the first group of pirates. "Whoa! That was amazing," he said after a narrow escape. She only tilted her head and smiled faintly, clearly unimpressed by his awe. They flew through the asteroid belt near the starport. Marcus tried to keep up with her guidance, dodging rocks and debris, while the pirates followed relentlessly. Each time Marcus made a wrong move, she corrected him quickly. He was learning fast. Humans might not have her advanced technology, but their ability to improvise could be just as valuable. After several tense minutes, Marcus and the alien woman found a hiding spot behind a cluster of asteroids. The pirates zoomed past, unable to track them. Marcus exhaled, leaning back in his seat. "We made it, somehow." The alien woman looked at him, then tapped the console, sending a small holographic message. Marcus couldn't read it, but he sensed urgency. He realized she was trying to communicate something important. "All right, I don't understand your language yet, but I get the feeling it's important," he said. "Maybe you can show me?" She nodded and pointed at herself, then at the ship, then at the pirates on the display. Marcus's eyes widened. "Oh, you were trying to tell me they were coming." She nodded again, this time with a small, pleased smile. Marcus chuckled. Guess we're learning each other's ways, huh? After the pirates left, they set course for open space. Marcus had questions, but he also realized that rushing might not help. He needed to build trust with her, and she needed to understand him. Over the next few hours, Marcus tried a new approach. He pulled out charts, star maps, and simple diagrams. He pointed at a planet and said its name. She pointed at the symbols and touched them on the screen. Slowly, they began to share information, not just words, but knowledge about space, navigation, and survival. Marcus was amazed by her understanding of alien technology. She showed him how the ship could detect resources on planets, calculate safe routes, and even communicate with distant stations silently. Marcus realized that with her skills they could become a formidable team. He also noticed small gestures that hinted at her personality. She was curious, patient, and cautious, but there was a spark of playfulness in her movements. Once, she mimicked a human laugh when he fumbled a control, and Marcus couldn't help but laugh too. By evening, they had established a basic routine. Marcus would handle manual controls, while she would advise and operate advanced systems. They ate together, studied the stars together, and even managed to share some simple jokes through gestures and expressions. Marcus felt a sense of companionship he had never experienced. This alien woman was mysterious, yes, but she was also intelligent, kind, and capable. Somehow, despite all the unknowns, he felt that he could trust her. As night fell across the galaxy, the ship drifted through the quiet void. Marcus leaned back in his seat, watching the stars. He thought about how his life had changed in just one day. From buying an old ship at an auction to discovering a living, intelligent being aboard it. The alien woman floated nearby, her golden eyes reflecting the stars. She seemed calm but alert, aware of everything around her. Marcus smiled faintly. I don't know what adventures lie ahead, but I'm glad I'm not facing them alone. For the first time, he felt like a true pilot, not just a trader trying to make a living, but someone who could explore, learn, and maybe even protect the galaxy. And with her at his side, he knew that the impossible might just be possible. Somewhere, deep inside the ship, the alien woman observed him with quiet curiosity. She did not yet understand humans fully, but she sensed something remarkable, a species capable of courage, creativity, and unexpected brilliance. The journey had only begun, and both of them knew the galaxy was full of unknowns. But for the first time, Marcus and the alien woman shared a silent understanding. Together, they could face whatever challenges the stars might throw at them. The ship's engines purred gently, carrying them farther into the unknown. And as they drifted through the glittering cosmos, Marcus felt a thrill of excitement. The universe was vast, mysterious, and dangerous, but it was theirs to explore. And with a companion who was unlike anyone he had ever met, Marcus knew that the adventure of a lifetime was just beginning. Marcus had barely slept the night after their first successful day of learning and exploring together. The ship drifted silently through the outer rim of the star system, the stars twinkling like distant jewels. He was in the cockpit, reviewing charts when the alien woman, whom he still hadn't named, floated in quietly. Her golden eyes were alert, scanning the instruments with intense focus. Marcus looked up. Morning. Sleep well? She tilted her head and made a soft, melodic sound. Marcus guessed it meant yes. She gestured toward the main display, then pointed to several moving blips. Marcus frowned. What's that? He asked, squinting at the screen. The alien woman pressed a few buttons, and the radar zoomed in. The blips were fast approaching ships. Marcus's heart skipped a beat. Space pirates? Again? He asked, unease creeping into his voice. She nodded once, then pointed at the console and gestured sharply toward the engines. Marcus realized she wanted him to get ready. He swallowed hard. All right, let's do this, he muttered, gripping the controls. The first pirate ship appeared on the radar, a small, fast craft designed for attacks and quick escapes. Marcus's stomach tightened. He had never faced pirates before. But the alien woman remained calm, her hands moving gracefully over the ship's advanced systems. She adjusted shields, plotted evasive maneuvers, and activated hidden sensors. Marcus watched, amazed at her skill. "Okay, follow my lead," he said aloud, mostly to himself. "And try not to crash." The pirate ship opened fire first, lasers slicing through the empty space toward them. Marcus swerved instinctively, avoiding the blast by a hair. The alien woman pointed to the displays, guiding him. Marcus realized she wasn't just skilled. She understood human instincts and could anticipate his reactions. They dove through an asteroid field, weaving between massive rocks. Marcus's hands flew over the controls, dodging asteroids and pirate fire. The alien woman tapped buttons that shifted the ship's gravity slightly, giving Marcus more control over the sharp turns. "Whoa," Marcus shouted as the ship twisted, barely avoiding a collision. "You've got some crazy moves." She made a sound that Marcus guessed was laughter. He grinned, feeling a rush of adrenaline. The danger was real, but working together made them feel unstoppable. The pirates were relentless. More ships appeared, flanking them from both sides. Marcus realized that brute speed wouldn't be enough. They had to be smarter than the attackers. "All right," he said, thinking quickly. "We need a plan." The alien woman tapped the console, highlighting clusters of asteroids nearby. Marcus understood immediately. She was suggesting they use the terrain to their advantage. "Good idea," he said. "Follow my lead and try to keep us alive." They flew low through the asteroid belt, ducking and weaving. The pirates tried to follow, but the narrow paths forced them to slow down. Marcus's heart pounded as he guided the ship, but the alien woman's calm presence helped him focus. After several tense minutes, one pirate ship misjudged a turn and collided with an asteroid. The explosion lit the darkness briefly, and Marcus let out a breath he didn't know he had been holding. "Nice work," he said, glancing at her. She inclined her head, a small smile on her face. But the danger wasn't over. 2 pirate ships were still chasing them, faster and more aggressive. Marcus's hands ached from gripping the controls. His mind raced. He needed a way to end this chase without destroying the ship. Then an idea struck him. He remembered the cargo hold storage compartments. If he could use the ship's weight to create a sudden maneuver, they might shake off the pursuers. "Hang on," he said. "This is going to be tricky." The alien woman tilted her head, watching closely. Marcus opened the storage compartments, shifting heavy supplies to the rear of the ship. He calculated the balance carefully, then nudged the ship into a sharp spin. The sudden movement threw the pursuing ships off course, and one of them collided with an asteroid, leaving only one ship tailing them. "That worked. Somehow," Marcus muttered, breathing heavily. The alien woman made a soft sound. Approval, he thought. The last pirate ship was persistent. Marcus realized they couldn't outrun it forever. He needed a trick, something unexpected. "Trust me," he said to her. "I've got an idea." He activated the ship's cloaking system, something he had only read about but never tested. The ship shimmered and became nearly invisible against the dark backdrop of space. The alien woman's eyes widened, then she tapped the console in fascination. The pirate ship passed by, scanning the area, unaware of their position. Marcus kept his hands steady, guiding them carefully. Once the coast was clear, he deactivated the cloak and let out a triumphant laugh. "We did it!" he exclaimed. The alien woman made a musical sound. Her version of laughter, he assumed. Marcus grinned at her. "I think we make a pretty good team, huh?" She tilted her head and nodded. Marcus realized that despite the danger, they were learning to work together perfectly. Humans had instincts, creativity, and courage, while she had knowledge, skill, and technology beyond his understanding. Together they were unstoppable. After the chase, they set course for a quiet, uninhabited system. Marcus leaned back in his seat, exhausted, but exhilarated. The alien woman floated, nearby, her golden eyes reflecting the starlight. "You were amazing back there," Marcus said. I don't know what I would have done without you." She looked at him, then gestured toward the control panel. Marcus watched as she moved her fingers over the instruments, tweaking and adjusting systems. It was clear she wasn't just resting. She was ensuring they would be safe in case the pirates returned. "I guess we should rest for a bit," Marcus said, though he knew sleep wouldn't come easily. His mind replayed every twist, turn, and narrow escape. She made a sound, soft and melodic, and gestured toward the sleeping quarters. Marcus understood. They needed rest. As he settled into his bunk, he thought about what had just happened. He had faced danger, relied on an alien companion, and survived. And through it all, he realized something important. Humans could face incredible challenges, not just through strength, but through intelligence, adaptability, and courage. The alien woman rested nearby, her presence calming. Marcus wondered about her past, where she came from, why she had been in hibernation, and what adventures awaited them next. He didn't know all the answers yet, but he felt confident that together, they could handle whatever the galaxy threw at them. Hours later, Marcus woke to the faint hum of the engines again. The alien woman was already awake, her eyes focused on the instruments. He smiled, feeling a sense of companionship and trust growing between them. "Ready for whatever comes next?" he asked. She tilted her head and made a soft, determined sound. Marcus nodded. He knew they would face danger again, perhaps even greater threats, but now he was not afraid. The galaxy was vast, full of wonders and risks. Pirates, strange planets, and mysterious systems awaited them. But with courage, creativity, and a companion who was unlike anyone he had ever met, Marcus felt ready. Somewhere deep inside the ship, the alien woman observed him with quiet curiosity. She did not yet fully understand humans, but she sensed something remarkable. A species capable of bravery, ingenuity, and unexpected brilliance. The ship drifted onward through the stars, carrying two unlikely companions. Marcus and the alien woman had survived their first test, and both of them knew that greater challenges awaited, challenges that would require not just skill, but trust, courage, and the unique strengths of humanity itself. As the stars stretched endlessly around them, Marcus felt a thrill of excitement. The universe was dangerous, yes, but it was also full of opportunity. With the alien woman by his side, he knew they could explore, survive, and perhaps even thrive among the stars. The adventure had only just begun. And for the first time, Marcus understood that the combination of human ingenuity and alien knowledge could be a force unlike any the galaxy had ever seen. The ship drifted silently through the void, stars glimmering like diamonds against the black sky. Marcus leaned back in the cockpit chair, his fingers tapping lightly on the console. He had survived pirates, learned the basics of the ship, and discovered that the alien woman was an incredible pilot and thinker. Yet there were still so many unanswered questions. The alien woman sat nearby, her golden eyes scanning the star charts. She moved with the calm precision of someone who had traveled far and known danger. Marcus realized he had grown used to her presence. She was no longer just a mysterious passenger. She was a partner, and perhaps in time a friend. "All right," Marcus said softly. "We need to figure out more about you. Who you are, why you were in that hibernation pod, and why pirates were after you." The alien woman looked at him, then reached for the console. She tapped a few buttons and a holographic display appeared. Images of distant worlds, strange symbols, and intricate diagrams filled the air between them. Marcus's eyes widened. This is amazing," he whispered. "You've traveled all these places?" She nodded slowly, then pointed to one image. A planet surrounded by a network of ships. Marcus leaned closer. "That's a fleet?" he asked. She nodded again, then gestured to the display and finally to herself. He realized she was trying to explain something about her people. Marcus ran a hand through his hair. "Okay, slow down. I think I understand that you're from a civilization that explores and protects the galaxy. But what about the pirates? Why were they after you?" She touched a symbol that pulsed with light. Marcus frowned, then leaned closer. The display shifted, showing encrypted data, maps, and strange codes. He realized that her ship wasn't just a transport. It carried information, technology, and knowledge that could be valuable, even dangerous, in the wrong hands. Ah, so that's it, Marcus said slowly. You're a messenger? Or maybe a protector? The alien woman nodded, her eyes serious now. Marcus could sense the weight of her responsibility. She was not just traveling for herself. She carried something important, something that could change the balance in the galaxy. He took a deep breath. All right, I get it. And I guess that means we need to be careful. Very careful. She made a soft sound, almost like a sigh. Marcus noticed a hint of relief in her expression. Perhaps she had been alone for too long, burdened with her mission. Now she had an ally. Marcus decided to try a different approach. You know, we should give each other names. It'll make things easier. He paused. I'm Marcus. You don't have a name yet, do you? She tilted her head, considering. Then she spoke a single word, clear and melodic. Marcus repeated it carefully, testing the sound. Lyra? He asked. She nodded. Lyra it is. Nice to meet you, Lyra. Lyra studied him for a moment, then reached out and touched his hand, lightly. Marcus felt a strange warmth and smiled. They were partners now in more ways than one. As they traveled through uncharted space, Marcus noticed a flicker on the radar. He leaned forward, his fingers moving over the controls. Something's coming, he murmured. Lyra's eyes narrowed. She tapped the console, scanning the approaching signals. Pirates? Marcus asked, tense. Lyra shook her head. Alien, agents, Marcus interpreted from her gestures. They're not like the pirates we saw before. They're organized, professional. They know what they're looking for. Marcus's heart raced. All right. Guess we can't just hide this. We need a plan. Lyra's fingers danced across the console, activating stealth systems, shields, and navigational boosters. Marcus watched in awe. She was not just skilled, she was brilliant. Humans were clever, but she had a combination of intelligence and experience that surpassed anything he had seen. Here's what we'll do, Marcus said, taking charge. We'll use the asteroid belt nearby for cover, and then we'll create a diversion. If we can get them chasing something else, maybe, we can slip away. Lyra's eyes met his, and he saw understanding. They were in this together. The alien agents arrived, ships gliding silently through space, scanning for Lyra's vessel. Marcus and Lyra executed their plan perfectly. They dodged into the asteroid belt, weaving between massive rocks. Marcus's hands moved instinctively, guided by Lyra's precise instructions. One of the agents pursued too closely and clipped an asteroid, exploding in a shower of sparks. Marcus whistled. That was close. Lyra made a soft, approving sound. Marcus grinned. He realized that humans might not have her advanced technology, but their ability to think quickly, improvise, and take risks was a strength she could respect. After, shaking off the last pursuer, they set course for a nearby uninhabited planet to rest and repair the ship. Marcus studied Lyra carefully. You've been running alone for a long time, haven't you? He asked gently. Lyra nodded, her expression somber. Marcus understood. She had carried a heavy burden, and now, for the first time in a long time, she had someone she could trust. They landed on the planet's surface, the ship settling gently on rocky ground. Marcus led Lyra to a small clearing nearby where the sun's warm light fell on them. For a moment, they simply stood together, looking at the stars above. You know, Marcus said softly, humans can be unpredictable. But I like to think that's a good thing. Sometimes unpredictability saves lives. Lyra looked at him, then made a soft sound. Marcus smiled, interpreting it as agreement. They were learning from each other, humans and aliens, each with their own strengths. As they repaired the ship, Marcus asked more about her past. Lyra's gestures and symbols painted a picture of a peaceful civilization dedicated to exploration, knowledge, and protection. She had been chosen to carry critical information that could prevent conflict between star systems. Pirates and agents sought to exploit it for profit or power. Marcus nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. So, it's more than just a ship. It's a message, a mission, and we're responsible for it now. Lyra's golden eyes met his, and Marcus felt a silent connection. She trusted him, and he would not let her down. As night fell on the planet, Marcus built a small fire outside the ship. They sat together, sharing a simple meal and watching the stars. Marcus realized that despite the danger and uncertainty, he felt a sense of purpose he had never known. "Lyra," he said softly, "humans have a saying. Sometimes the best way to survive is to trust each other, even when you don't fully understand." Lyra tilted her head, then touched his hand lightly. Marcus understood. Trust was building between them, a bridge across species and worlds. The night was quiet, but Marcus knew it would not last. The galaxy was vast and dangerous, and their mission was far from over. Yet he felt a strange excitement. With Lyra's knowledge and skill, and his own creativity and courage, they could face the challenges ahead. Hours later, Marcus woke to a gentle vibration from the ship. Lyra was already at the console, scanning the nearby star systems. Her movements were precise, deliberate, and careful. Marcus smiled faintly. Together, they were unstoppable. He realized something important. Humans could be strong, resourceful, and brave, but combined with an alien mind like Lyra's, they could achieve extraordinary things. The galaxy was full of unknowns, but Marcus felt ready to face them. As the first light of a distant sun illuminated the planet, Marcus and Lyra prepared to leave. Their journey was no longer just about survival. It was about discovery, understanding, and the responsibility of carrying knowledge that could shape the future of many worlds. Marcus glanced at Lyra. "Ready?" he asked. She nodded, her golden eyes reflecting determination and trust. Marcus took a deep breath. Together they would face whatever challenges awaited them. Pirates, agents, and the unknown dangers of the galaxy could come. They were ready. The engines hummed to life, and the ship lifted off the planet's surface. Stars stretched endlessly before them, and Marcus felt a thrill of excitement. They were not just traveling through space. They were forging a partnership, discovering new truths, and proving that humans, with courage and ingenuity, could rise to any challenge. And as they soared into the vast cosmos, Marcus knew that the journey ahead would test them both, but it would also reveal the best of humanity. With Lyra by his side, he was ready to face the galaxy. The galaxy stretched endlessly around them, a vast ocean of stars, planets, and danger. Marcus and Lyra had faced pirates, navigated asteroid fields, and uncovered the truth about her mission. But now, a greater threat loomed. A fleet of alien agents had discovered Lyra's location and were closing in fast. Marcus gripped the controls, his jaw tight. "Lyra, this is it. We can't just hide this time, we have to outsmart them." Lyra's golden eyes met his, filled with focus and determination. She tapped the console, activating shields and cloaking devices. Marcus realized that while humans relied on creativity and courage, she relied on precision, knowledge, and advanced technology. Together, they would need every strength they had. The first wave of agents appeared on the radar, their ships sleek, organized, and heavily armed. Marcus's heart pounded. He glanced at Lyra. "We can do this, stick with me." Lyra nodded and gestured to the console. Marcus quickly understood. They would combine human unpredictability with her advanced systems to confuse and mislead the agents. "All right," Marcus muttered. "First we'll split their attention. I'll take the ship through the asteroid belt, and you—" He gestured toward the holographic controls. "Create diversions with the sensors." Lyra's hands moved over the console, sending false signals, decoys, and holographic projections across space. Marcus twisted and turned the ship, weaving between massive asteroids, dodging energy blasts and avoiding collisions. The alien agents fired relentlessly, but Marcus noticed a pattern. Their movements were precise but predictable. That was human advantage, unpredictability. He veered suddenly, then looped back, taking the agents by surprise. Lyra's voice, melodic but urgent, guided him. Left, no, up, now. Marcus followed her instructions, dodging another volley of fire. Each maneuver was a dance of trust, skill, and quick thinking. One agent ship miscalculated and collided with an asteroid, exploding in a shower of sparks. Marcus felt a thrill of victory, but he knew the battle wasn't over. Several ships still pursued them, and the agent's determination was clear. Time for the next step, Marcus said. He adjusted the ship's mass and activated the cargo compartments, shifting heavy supplies to create a sudden, unexpected maneuver. The ship spun sharply, throwing off the remaining pursuers. One of them misjudged the turn, narrowly avoiding an asteroid but losing valuable time. Lyra made a soft, approving sound. Marcus grinned. See? Human instincts plus your technology equals unbeatable team. But the lead agent ship was still on their tail. Marcus knew he needed a final move. He glanced at Lyra. Ready for something risky? She nodded. Marcus activated the ship's emergency cloaking system, making them nearly invisible in the dark expanse. The agent ship raced past them, scanning for signs of life, but found nothing. Marcus and Lyra held their breath until the danger had passed. Okay, Marcus said, exhaling slowly. That should do it. Hopefully. Lyra tapped the console, checking for any remaining traces of the agents. All signals had disappeared. Marcus realized they had survived not by raw strength but by combining human creativity with alien technology. He looked at Lyra and smiled. We did it. We really did it. She tilted her head and made a soft musical sound, her version of laughter. Marcus laughed too, feeling a sense of triumph and relief. With the immediate threat gone, they set a course for a distant, uninhabited planet to repair the ship and rest. Marcus realized that this mission was more than just survival. It was about proving the value of human ingenuity, courage, and adaptability. As they landed gently on the planet's surface, Marcus and Lyra surveyed the horizon. The sky was a deep blue, dotted with two suns. The planet was quiet, peaceful, a sharp contrast to the chaos they had just faced. Resting here will give us time to plan, Marcus said. We need to think about the next steps. The information you carry, it's too important to fall into the wrong hands. Lyra nodded, moving toward the repair bay. Marcus followed, impressed by her ability to handle advanced technology with ease. She checked the ship's systems, making repairs and improvements as if she had done this 100 times before. Marcus watched, learning, helping where he could. After hours of work, the ship was ready again. Marcus and Lyra stood side by side, looking out at the alien landscape. Marcus felt a deep sense of pride, not just in the ship or their survival, but in the partnership they had formed. You know, Marcus said softly, humans are often underestimated, but we have something special. Creativity, courage, and the ability to adapt. That's what saved us today. Lyra's golden eyes met his, and she reached out, placing a hand on his shoulder. Marcus felt warmth and trust in that simple gesture. They had survived the impossible together, and now they were ready for anything the galaxy could throw at them. The next morning, they prepared to leave the planet. Marcus checked the ship's systems while Lyra reviewed star charts and possible routes. Marcus realized that they weren't just running from danger. They were planning to deliver the critical information safely, completing Lyra's mission. Ready? Marcus asked, looking at Lyra. She nodded, her expression calm but determined. Marcus felt a surge of confidence. They had faced danger, outsmarted enemies, and learned to trust each other. Together, they were unstoppable. The engines hummed as the ship lifted off. Stars stretched endlessly before them, a vast sea of possibilities. Marcus gripped the controls, feeling the thrill of adventure and the weight of responsibility. Lyra's presence reassured him. She was a guide, a partner, and a reminder of the strength that came from combining human ingenuity with alien knowledge. As they traveled, Marcus reflected on their journey. Humans might not have advanced alien technology, but they had courage, intuition, and creativity. Combined with Lyra's skill and wisdom, they could face challenges that seemed impossible. The galaxy was full of dangers, pirates, rival factions, and unknown threats. But Marcus knew they could handle anything together. Humans had survived against odds before, and now, with Lyra, they could achieve even greater things. Hours later, they approached a distant star system. Marcus checked the coordinates and confirmed the location for Lyra's mission. He glanced at her. "This is it. Time to deliver the information." Lyra nodded, her golden eyes focused. Marcus felt a sense of pride. They had come far, and their teamwork had brought them here safely. Humans could be underestimated, but their ingenuity, courage, and unpredictability had proven to be powerful allies. As they entered the system, Marcus realized that this was just the beginning. The galaxy was vast, full of mysteries, dangers, and opportunities. With Lyra by his side, he felt ready to explore, learn, and face any challenge. They landed on a secure station, carefully delivering the data and technology Lyra had carried. The mission was complete, but Marcus knew their journey was far from over. Lyra looked at him, and Marcus understood her silent message. They were partners, adventurers, and friends. Together they could face the unknown, relying on human courage and creativity and her skill and knowledge. As they prepared to leave the station, Marcus felt a thrill of anticipation. The galaxy was wide and unpredictable, but he had learned something invaluable. Humans could rise to any challenge, adapt to any situation, and achieve greatness when they worked together. Lyra smiled at him, a soft, golden glow in her eyes. Marcus returned the smile. Together, they lifted off into the stars, ready for the next adventure, the next discovery, and the endless possibilities that awaited them. The universe was vast, full of danger and wonder. But Marcus and Lyra had proven that courage, ingenuity, and trust could overcome anything. The stars stretched before them, and for the first time Marcus felt that the impossible was truly within reach. Their journey had begun with a simple auction, an unexpected ship, and a mysterious alien companion. Now it had become a story of partnership, discovery, and the remarkable potential of humans in the galaxy. And as the ship soared into the endless cosmos, Marcus knew one thing for certain. Together, they could face anything, and the universe was theirs to explore.